subscribe, hit that notification button. Don't forget
David, you on mute.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, and I'm joined by David Piatek coming over from VA Housing Education. So if you haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel, you need to, because he is the subject matter expert on VA home loans. How we doing, David?
Doing great, Dwayne.
All right.
Finally, we have some Tampa weather, hot, humid. I love it. My hair does not get frizzy when in this weather. That's probably number one complaint for folks with hair. I'll go into humid weather, but no, I'm just loving it. So how's it been by you?
It's good. We're in rainy season. We are officially in hurricane season. I am still we have a insurance claim in from the hurricane last October, and that's how insurance companies do here. They drag their feet, hoping you will just accept anything. But you know, it is what it is. It's a part of life living in Florida. So everyone, this evening we got 53 people on live right now. Make sure you hit those likes. Today we're just going to jump right into it, the Q&A. We normally don't get through all the questions, so I figured, hey, let's just take this time and just start answering questions. And we only got like 3 comments in here. Normally we have like 15 or 20, but we're just going to start off. And if not, we're just going to, hey, we're going to wing it. And we're going to talk about either some compensation or some VA home loan things, because we did a 12-hour stream last year. So, hey, we got a lot to talk about still.
A lot.
Right? All right. So wait a minute. Okay, there we go. I'm freezing on my hand a little bit for some reason. Okay. Rock W. Rose became a YouTube member. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Don't know if you're in the basic or standard or premium. If you're in the standard or premium, you get early access to some of my shorts and some of my videos. If you're in the premium, I do a total separate live stream just for the premium members. Okay. Let's keep going here. We got Nancy. Good evening, Nancy. Yes. Tuning in for them Nuggets. Yes. Dwayne, aka VA Nugget Man. I'm gonna get like a costume, like a cutout, get some socks, cut a hole in it and stuff, you know. Okay, C. Mitchell says, I had a question about VAC. That you, David?
Yeah, that's for me. Yeah, he dropped the question down below. So
well, hold on. Before you even get started, C. Mitchell, go Bob. He know what I mean. I see his sweater there. Go ahead, David. Go ahead, David.
Okay, so the question he had was, the question is, when I first got out in '97, I went to get it again, and they told me I was not eligible. That is interesting. So eligibility for a VA home loan, and I did a whole video on this, is going to depend on time and service and character of discharge, right? When you are on active duty and you meet the criteria, which, you know, during peacetime is 90 days, during peacetime it's 180 days, during wartime it's 90 days. So as soon as you're 90 days on active duty, you're already eligible for the VA home loan, right? During wartime, again, 6 months of if you're on peacetime. So what can happen is you could, after like a year in, get a certificate of eligibility, you're qualified. But let's say, this is an example, you've only served a year and a half and got an early discharge. It was still a general discharge, let's say, or honorable discharge, but you didn't meet the 2-year criteria of being on active duty. So when you get out, you then don't qualify for the VA loan. So that can happen. And we've also, and I'm not saying that happened to you, but we've also seen people are eligible, qualified. Maybe they're in the reserve, and then towards the end, they may get a dishonorable discharge, and that can mess up their certificate of eligibility. I would definitely say that schedule a call with me, because it can walk you through it. We've had a lot of these where veterans like, well, I've been told we're not qualified. And then we know what paperwork to request so we can submit that to the VA, and then we can actually follow up with them on your behalf to get it done. Just because it's like, it's like sometimes telling somebody, two different people tell them, but they listen to one, not the other. And it makes no sense to me, but that's just sometimes how the VA works on that side. So, yeah, happy to walk you through that so we can see what we can do.
All right. Still on active duty and get all my medical records and diagnosis intact. What are the chances of me getting CMP exams after retirement again? Well, if you want to do the BDD claim, you ought to have your 526CZ, your SHA. I think it's Part A and Part B or Part B. You want to have those filled out midnight, 12:01 a.m. on that 180th day. You need to be uploading all the necessary information through the VA's quick submit link. Okay. I have a video on quick submit link and I have a video on BDD claims, but it was before they came out with the SHA form. So the only additional document when you watch that video, the only piece of evidence you need is a SHA form. And you can get that on the VA's website. Continue to go to sick call. Dave, I can't tell you. I'm pretty sure we're in a boat of maybe 95% of other veterans like, man, why did I suck it up on active duty? Why did I just continue to go to get things documented? If we had to go through it again, why are you here? Oh, I got a little bump on my form. I want to get it documented. So if it turns into something later, I can file a claim with the VA. Okay. But if you're permanent and total, if you come off of active duty, P&T, you do not have any routine future exams. So a lot of people say reexamination. Those are called RFEs. Guess what? Don't worry about it. I have a video where I'm explaining when the VA is prohibited from scheduling a routine future. Dave, I've seen people be 100% not P&T. And when they're not P&T, they cannot take advantage of the home exemption if you're one of those states that require you to be 100%. So they went 5 years because they had a routine future that knocks you out of being able, your condition to be static, and you miss out on a lot of benefits. And a lot of veterans, they don't even know.
No, that's huge. Like, but you'd be surprised too how many veterans I ask, are you 100% permanent total, 100%, 100% TDIU? And they're like, oh, I don't know which one I am. Like, you need to know because the benefits are different for what you're, and like you said, if you're not 100% PNT, I'd say it's safe to say in general, your rating can change. So if you rely on that income, that and also tax breaks, like for property tax breaks, is that's one big advantage of having a service-connected disability. One, from a VA loan perspective, no VA funding fee, you know, 10% or higher rating. And then the other is taking advantage of tax benefits for your property taxes and vehicle taxes and stuff like that. So huge benefits in that space.
Here's the thing, Dave, and a lot of veterans don't know this. When you are service connected at IU, the rater has to take issue either to grant permanent and total or schedule a routine future for a condition, right?
Oh, okay.
Now, let's say the veteran is 70% for PTSD, and that's why they grant IU due to that 70%. So they'll confirm and continue the PTSD at 100% and grant IU. If that veteran has other disabilities totaling 60% or higher, the rater must grant service connection for SMCS, special monthly compensation, housebound, which I think I have to check the numbers, but it's anywhere between $475, between $475 and $500 on top of the 100%. I've seen raters miss that, and the veteran goes years and not collect that money. Now, if that happens, all is not lost. Watch my video on CUEs because CUEs never expire. That is a clear and unmistakable error. And I've seen veterans go back 10, 15 years to be granted housebound. So just imagine that those, you're looking at what, 10 years, 120 months?
It's a lot of moolah, is what I'm
yeah,
hearing.
averaging like 400, 400 100 a month on average. They go back, I had to go back each year to see what the COLA cost of living increase was to make that adjustment. All right, Dave, this is for you.
I'm 50% service connected. Can I get a VA loan? That depends. That's a loaded question. That's saying, hi, will you marry me? So so you got to be careful with this. So look, guys, there's a couple of things when it comes to a VA loan, right? It's eligibility and qualification. Those are two things that need to be met to use a VA loan. If you don't have one or the other, you can't use it, right? So eligibility is the time and service and character of discharge, right? You meet the criteria to get a certificate of eligibility. That's like your award letter to say, hey, look, I have this piece of paper. I want to now apply for a VA loan. Qualification is where do you have the credit collateral capacity, right? What's your credit like? Well, how much can you afford to make payments on? And then whatever your outstanding debt and collateral, which is going to be the property itself, right? So and then the VA, I know if you look at my channel, I got so many things broken down. I did just drop a link to schedule a call with me, or in the description, or on my YouTube channel, or on the website, right? You can schedule a call with me because everyone's situation is going to be different and unique, right? Never disqualify yourself. But that first step is schedule a call with me, and then I'm going to walk you through what the process is. I just need to know more information, right? It's all going to be based on that. But at least you're thinking about it because, only 13% of veterans have ever utilized the VA home loan, and veteran home ownership is a pretty high percentage right now.
Yeah. And I get those questions too, Dave. And, on my YouTube channel, veterans, they'll give me some information. I'm like, do I meet the criteria for SMC? Do I meet the criteria for CUE? I'm like, there's more information that's needed. What about this? What about that? So just keep that in mind when you're asking those questions, because we may come back with 3 or 4 questions of our own. Okay.
Yeah, Dwayne, before we go on, you want to throw that one, then we'll go next.
Okay. So Tim says your video catalog helped me a bunch with my recent successful increase. Thank you, everything you do, Mr. Kimball. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I tell people, they say, hey, I want to sign up for one of your private Q&A sessions. I'm like, look, go to the videos on my YouTube channel first. More than likely, I've done a video on it. Look on my channel, find the video. If you still have questions, then you sign up for the private Q&A. But more than likely, a lot of veterans can find those questions there. Or if not, the first Wednesday and the second Wednesday of every month, I'm here live on YouTube. Come here and answer your question. Get your question answered for free. Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, but I was going to say, I talked with somebody. We just had a closing earlier this week with somebody. He wanted me to say hi to you. He's been watching your channel for a long time. He's like, that's how he came to me. And I'll share a success story because, he's like, if it wasn't for Dwayne and watching the videos, I was able to take my VA disability. I think he had like a 60 or to 90% rating, was able to get it to 100%. Wow. And then reached out to me. He got it a while ago. And then, he messaged me like, I can't believe that I actually became a homeowner. I didn't think that I'd be able to do it just on the VA disability income because there's so many benefits to it. So again, it kind of leads to, one, thank you for reaching out and putting your trust in us because, buying a home is very emotional. A lot of times people think that, having a place to live, especially if you've been homeless at one point, right? We just helped a homeless veteran buy a home. Like it was crazy to me that, still they have good credit. They're still able to save some money, but they just don't realize that they can use these benefits. So don't disqualify yourself. And a lot of this stuff too, for everybody out there, it's for other veterans that are out there, right? That don't believe that they can do it, right? It just time, and you can do anything. So,
yep, with the right information, like you said, the individual,
with the right info,
right? And that's why I tell people, I challenge veterans to invest the time to watch videos on your YouTube channel, to watch the videos on my YouTube channel. Get into these live streams. It's still mind-boggling that last year we did a 12-hour live stream. We only averaged like about 98 people for an hour, every hour. And I'm like, 12, they could have came back and just had like 30 questions and we answered everybody's question.
Everyone.
And I'm like, you know, before you even sign up for like a Q&A or whatever, just watch the videos, get into a live stream, post your question early. Okay. It's simple, people. This is my first time on your live. I watched all your videos
Welcome.
and they've helped me tremendously. Thank you, and thank you for the support. Make sure you go over to David's channel, VA Housing and Education. Hit that subscribe notification button because David, you know that success story. I hear it a lot on the comments. It was like, Dwayne, thank you for what you do. Hey, I'm at 100%. I was able to get to 90% after I watched this video, and I've never talked to them on the phone. How powerful is that? You know, or they'll say, "Hey, I got the book, and I was at 90, and it got me over the hump." So you spent $29.99 on the book. Hopefully, you used a coupon code. And I'm surprised that people don't use the coupon code because we have it right next to the checkout, and people still don't use it. But you know, it is what it is. The difference between 90 and 100% is $1,500. That's not including if you put an intent to file in, you got your back pay. The ROI on that is
Plus
off the
school,
charts.
plus healthcare, plus all the state benefits.
Right,
Like it's
right,
wild.
right. Robert Mitchell tuning in from Bowie, Maryland. Where's Bowie, Maryland? Is that around
I have
DC
no
area?
clue.
Okay, I've heard of it. I want to say it's around Baltimore. Okay, Dwayne, my father passed away. Our condolences to you and the family, and had claims that was sitting at HLR. We just talked about this, David. He was too sick to attend his CMP exams. My mother wants to take over his claims. Will she be able to attend CMP exams? I don't think.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, I haven't worked one of those in a while. I don't know if the regulations changed, but we were just talking about this, David, when we recorded the previous video. What you want to have, hopefully, your mom had third-party consent. If not, contact 800-827-1000 and let them know your dad passed away. But what is the form that you need to complete to continue to pursue that claim? If they tell you you can't, hogwash. Turn around, do a Viera, do an appointment. If you're close to a regional office, go to public contact. Okay. And they still give you crap, file a complaint with the VA White House hotline.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of add my 2 cents to this as well, Dwayne, is that nobody wants to talk about passing away. Okay. But it is so important that no matter how uncomfortable the conversations are, that you do have a plan, like an emergency power of attorney assigned, right? Because if you don't think about that, the wrong people can get all of your information or do whatever. Have a plan in place, right? Maybe talk to an estate attorney. If you're on active duty, a lot of times you can get access to attorneys to help you, or you're part of like a legal network. They can help you with that. It's going to save you a lot of drama down the line. So I just want to point that out, because like that form, like I didn't even realize that existed.
Yeah. And you know, because you don't hear about it that often.
No.
We, like I say, we were just talking about this, and you know, we were the conversation was, don't sell yourself short when it comes to using a VA certificate eligibility and obtaining your service connection, because once you pass away, your family could be entitled to some benefits to include one of those DIC. Okay. Let's keep going here. Curtis, the VA reopening a previously denied anxiety claim and now is at HLR, high level review. How often does this happen? And this is a good thing. I've never heard of this happening where the VA just open up a claim and it's at HLR. If you have a VSO, what I have heard, VSO lawyer going to do something without the veteran's knowledge, and the veteran doesn't know it, claim gets denied, then they sneak around and do a high level review because they have a power, you giving them power of attorney. So I've never heard of the VA opening up a claim and just going right to high level review. That it's something else going on there, Curtis. This you, David.
I got to more mortgage payments left. Wow, how do I go about using my COE again? I'm in Ohio. All right, so this is actually congratulations. I'm assuming I got 2 more mortgage payments left. That's what I'm
Yeah,
assuming
that's
I'm
what I'm
hearing
saying.
there. All right. So when it comes to this is kind of like a weird thing that happens with your benefits, and I'm gonna explain a little bit longer version, then I'll shorten it up. If you bought a home for $500,000 and you paid off the mortgage and it has a 0 balance, you still have $500,000 of your benefits locked into that property. Okay. If you have a $500,000 mortgage, original mortgage, and the current balance is $300,000, and you refinance that loan into a conventional loan, you still have $500,000 locked of your benefits into that property. Okay. The only time that you can restore your benefits is if you're not the owner of the property anymore. So what happens? This is what I talked to the VA about. 2 things can happen. One, you can move the property out of your name. Like if you move it into like a company name, it's not in your name anymore. Technically, you don't own that property anymore. And you can ask the VA to say, hey, look, I don't own this property anymore. They can help you restore those benefits. The second thing you could do, which is what confuses a lot of people around, I can only use the VA home loan once. In general, you can use the VA loan unlimited times. But there is a once in a lifetime restoration of your benefits that only applies to this situation. You refinance that 300,000 mortgage on that 500,000 original mortgage, right? You change the loan product, or you pay off the house. You can ask for this once in a lifetime restoration of your benefits. They'll restore your full entitlement. Okay. You can buy another place with as if you don't have an existing VA home loan. The challenge you run into is if you want to use the VA loan for the 3rd time, because technically there is no limit on how many VA home loans you can use. This rule is what confuses the masses. Is that you would have to sell both homes in order to use the VA loan again. But that only applies when you pay off the home or you refinance it into a conventional loan from a VA loan and you want to free up your entitlement. You can only do that once in your lifetime. Okay, so I know that was a lot there. If you have more questions, just schedule a call with me. Because, yeah.
You go on and on with that one, right?
I can go on, yeah. I just confused more people. So I'm sorry for everybody out there.
All right.
I served 2 years in wartime, generally under honorable condition, under honorable conditions, and 50% service connected. Can I get a VA loan? Where to start? Yeah, so that's a question from a little bit earlier. Definitely you can. Just schedule a call with me so at least we can get the ball rolling. Because I'm a lender, so I'll be able to help you through that process. Because the channel and everything that I do is to just give you guys as much information as possible about the programs, how the VA loan works. But at the same time, because people do call me, Dwayne, David, what is it that you actually do? You know a lot about VA loans, but I'm actually a lender, so I can actually help you through that process throughout the country. So
there you go. Yeah. There you go. All right. So, yeah, Carlos, the VA denied me today. I honestly hate them. Carlos, we've all been where you were at. I was where you were at, and I was actually working for the VA as a rater.
And they denied you.
How do you think I felt? And I tell this story. I got on the elevator one morning with the HR manager. She was just bubbly. She was like, good morning. It's a great day. And I was like, you know what? It's not a great day. I'm behind on my production quota. I probably don't have any work when I get upstairs. And I got denied for something I know I should have been approved for. And she's just like, huh? And I didn't even feel bad. I still don't feel bad. So I get it. And, again, when you look at my videos, I'm sharing the 38 CFR, the M21-1. I'm giving you, not you, Carlos, but I'm giving veterans the blueprint, what I was trained as a rater, and what has still transpired with the VA claims process. Okay? Where do you have to start? You have to understand the different ways of service connection. You can't get around that. Okay? Nope. You cannot get around it. Pre-service aggravation, direct, increase, secondary, presumptive, 1 year, 3 years, 7 year, Agent Orange, Gulf War, which includes the PACT Act, Camp Lejeune contaminated water. What are the conditions you're claiming? Where do they fall in those different ways of service connection? Build your evidence. Do the intent to file. Start building your paper trail. Okay. If the condition you want to claim doesn't fall under one of those ways of service connection, you will be a no-go at that station. If you're in the Army, you know exactly what that meant. Okay. So you have to understand that, people. That's the first thing. If you think you're just going to go to the VHA and get a diagnosis and file a claim and get service connected, no. Compensation is under VBA. Healthcare is under VHA. That's where you need to start. Don't worry about it, people. I got several videos on the different ways. I call it the 5 ways of service connection. Okay. And I got to put my glasses back on. Like as young as
I already got them on. I don't even. There's no point in taking
them off.
Right? Wait, don't just rip the Band-Aid off. It's okay.
I was getting, okay. I was getting kind of hyped, and I was like, wait a minute, let me,
You're getting comfortable,
right? Filed for PTSD in 2021, got denied. Every year, continued to submit and denied. In April, put in for severe stress, unspecified. Can I go back to the effective date of 2021? Yes. As long as you do not let 365 days lapse from the date of the notification letter, not the date of the rating. You get 2 documents in that packet that they send you, a notification letter and a rating decision.
Yep, this one's for me. If you lose a part of your entitlement due to a Chapter 7 or foreclosure, can you get it back? So let me answer or ask the question in a broader sense, right? So sometimes people have a Chapter 7, Chapter 13, a foreclosure, or a short sale. Those are all different things, right? If you have a Chapter 7 and you have a foreclosure with that, the foreclosure is kind of what takes the precedence of that. And the reason why is because when you have a foreclosure or a short sale, you typically will lose a portion of your entitlement. So for easy numbers, okay, let's say you bought a house for $400,000 and the VA guarantees 25% of that. So the VA lost $100,000 of guarantee to back your loan, and it went into foreclosure. Now, it could happen where your home sells for a lot more money, and then they could recover that money. That can happen. I've never seen it that way. You still can use a VA loan even though you had a foreclosure with a VA loan. You just lock out a portion of those benefits that you lost in that foreclosure, which you can see on your certificate of eligibility. Now, at some point, if your limit of the loan was higher than what the Fannie Mae single family loan limit is, then you're going to have to do a 25% down payment on every property afterwards. Okay. Then it may not make sense to use the VA loan. The most common foreclosure piece I see, ironically, Dwayne, is with older veterans. And those loan amounts were like $50,000 back then, $30,000. And then their loss was like $12,500. So if you want to get your certificate to be fully restored, then you would have to pay the VA back the money they lost.
Whoo.
So, and sometimes, Dwayne, we've looked at these where someone had a $200,000 home, they owe $50,000 to the VA. But then they're looking at homes that are like $700,000, $800,000. What would you rather do? Do a down payment on a conventional loan where typically the terms are not as favorable.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather take that money, pay the VA back, and use your benefits and be in a much better financial position?
I'll do the second one. Pay the VA back.
But this is why it's so dependent on each individual person's picture.
Yep.
Don't talk to your friends. Stop using Google. Stop YouTubing videos. Just call me. Because I have this conversation with people every day where they're like, David, whatever, I watch your videos, you say the opposite of what everyone else says. I'm like, I get that because I go based on what's on the VA handbook and like real world experience doing thousands of these, thousands of transactions. We help hundreds of people a year become homeowners and utilize that beautiful VA loan. So
Yeah. And I get told the same thing, David. They're like, well, wait a minute. Look at this
yeah,
video. Look at this video. I'm not going to go look at another video.
no,
I'm trying to do research to do my own video. Right.
right,
So and I would say 75% of my videos, besides my shorts that I put up, I recorded a video today. I was talking about intent to file. And I went out to the M21-1 and was taking screenshots and showing people. So the stuff that I'm talking about is not me saying it. I'm just sharing what's on the VA's website. I'm giving you those receipts. Okay. I'm not talking
I
about,
like that.
oh, well, I worked with this particular veteran and it worked. So I can apply it to the same veteran, another veteran that's claiming the same condition. No, it doesn't
No.
work that way. Okay. You have to look at each case individually. If you're just going off of, oh, this works, you can probably get away with some stuff, but it just depends on what it is. So definitely a good point, David. This is David's, we have David's website scrolling down below. They can schedule something with you there at vahousingeducation.com, David.
Yeah, yeah. If they go to the top right, you can schedule a call, submit an application, whatever, But yeah, definitely. I mean, look, it doesn't cost you anything. I
There
have
you
my
go.
calendar up there for a reason, so you could you actually talk to me. People are like,
Yeah.
I can't believe, yeah, like you actually talk to me, like, well, and I'm no different when we are on the call or on these events. Like you just, tell me what you want, and I'll walk you through it.
Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. If I submit an application for disability compensation related compensation benefits, can I submit new supporting evidence? Yes. But people, this is the thing. This is why it's so important to do that intent to file. Do the intent to file. If you have to hold off on that, submitting that prescribed claim form to get that evidence, I would rather you do it all at the same time. If you can't, then I understand. But you want to submit everything at the same time because Felix Garcia, he'll tell you you go from one step to another when you do that. And what we have up next, Felix always leave David. I think he's a new subscriber and he has been leaving me comments like literally every morning. So Felix, if you leave me a comment, what's the day? Wednesday. Every day from today until next Wednesday, I will send you a free book. Okay. And I know he's going to do it because I remember his picture because he's always asking questions, which is a good thing. Okay.
That's a
Uh,
good thing. Yeah.
yeah. I was in step 7 and went back to step 5 in a day. I also claimed dependents separately. You think it was because of this combined claim? No. Or it's a rating disagreement. It could be for a number of reasons. Okay. And the reason, back when I first started rating, that was probably, I would say, sort of the best time because if I reviewed that claim initially, 9 times out of 10, I was going to rate it. Now, with VBMS, everything is electronic. I was rating veterans claim from Montana, Hawaii, Arizona, Maine, North Dakota, Kentucky. And so you have a lot more people touching those claims, whereas years past, you may only have 2 people touching that claim. And those 2 individuals, they work together. It's no longer like that, right? So one person that initially touched that claim could have missed something. It go to a different location and they say, oh, we forgot to do this or give this veteran due process. And when they do that on the back end, it changes it could change which step you are on the front end, what you see. Okay. But it's not always a negative thing. It could go either way, Felix. What happens if I have 100% veteran and service connected and never use any of my benefits? You just never use them.
You just never
I
use
would
them.
be asking,
But I'll tell you, there's so many benefits that exist. Like I'm always learning like about benefits. I'm but like insanely big ones, like
yeah,
insanely big ones where I'm like, oh, you get 100%. Like in my state, if you have 100% PNT, it's like your kids go to school, college free, Plus, you could utilize like the GI Bill if they want to get the monthly stipend, and
Yes.
then
Yep.
then your spouse gets like an additional, like from the time you get your rating, 10 years to get another 4 years of free school at a state college. I was like, that. I mean, that's unbelievable. Like, I'm in this every day,
Yeah.
and I learned something where I'm like, this is immensely impactful.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Let's see. We got some. I
So we
lose part
answered
of
that.
it. We answered that one. Yep. Okay. Can a Nexus service connect by a military photo? Hmm.
Meaning, I'm assuming like, hey, you had an injury. They documented it with a photo, but they didn't actually have it recorded because they didn't want to go to sick call.
Oh, that's a
That's
tricky
what
one.
I'm thinking. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I didn't even see that. The FK. It's okay. I was like,
It's
wait a
okay.
minute.
Everyone
Okay.
looks at feelings different.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're not
Yeah.
a therapy
Yeah.
channel.
Man, that is I've had some of those claims before where veterans are saying, "Hey, I was in Vietnam. That's me in the picture." And they don't have a shirt on. They don't have a BDU top on with the name on it. But I've actually seen veterans send in pictures and they're like, "Hey, my name is such and such. I'm in that picture. This is my name." And we went off there and was able to service connect. So it's one of these cases. It depends. Very slim chance, but it's still a chance. There's so many other questions that I would, be asking, like, what is the benefit? Are you trying to do a presumptive? If you're trying to do it secondary, is there no evidence of record? Are you claiming something due to a combat medal, or you served in a combat zone? There's so much more to unpack there. Okay. Let's see. When you go back to the different screen, now you got to figure out, like, where did I leave off? Where did I leave off? You know. Okay. The VA verified my 1980 stressor, but can't find my records. My doctor found proof of the shoulder X-rays after I was hit by an 18-wheeler on base. Most conditions stem from that one record. Enough. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh no, I was saying like we definitely went way down on the list, but
Oh,
we'll
we
come
did?
back.
Okay, we'll come back. Okay, all right. Yeah, you don't need to be seen multiple times. It just says when I looked through those records, I was looking for treatment, diagnosis, injuries, complaint, or disease. Now, where's probably become a factor is at the C&P exam. And that C&P examiner may say, oh, it's not due to that, 18-wheeler accident. It's just old age or veteran getting older. But also get any treatment that you've had for that shoulder from service up until now. Also, you can do this. Hey, do an intent to file, start getting treatment for it. You may have a better chance. Okay. So let me go back up,
There was
Dave.
Brenda Fernander.
Yeah.
Right up, yeah.
Okay. That's it. I'm 80% and I'm service connected for tinnitus and 20% for migraines. You can't be 20% for migraines. It's either 0, 10, 30, or 50 under diagnostic code 8100. They're increasing. Can I go for the other 20? Okay. So you have to look at, I'm assuming, Brenda, you're either a 10 or 30. If you're trying to get to the 50%, it's very frequent, completely prostrating attack, severe economic inadaptability. Doesn't mean that you can't work. It just means when you get a headache, it interferes with your employment, meaning you have to call off sick or you have to leave work early and you have taken off work in the past. So it might not be a bad idea to get that log. Okay. But I do have a video about what do you need to do before you file a claim for increase. If they're getting worse, do you meet the criteria for the next higher percentage? This is you, Dave.
Yeah. If I would like to buy land plus build a home with a build, will the VA cover that process to the completion of a home? So yes, so you can do a VA construction loan. They 100% exist, and they will allow you to do both a land acquisition and a build. Now, if you already own land and you want to do a VA construction loan, same thing, you can do it. But depending on how much equity you have, and depending if you're trying to self GC or not, the VA loan may or may not make sense. So yeah, you could definitely do it. The tighter requirements for sure on these properties, and especially if you're trying to do these in community property states, or like Texas is like a crazy one because VA loans, even if you do a rate in term refinance, is considered a cash out refinance. Then you can't use your benefits if you don't use them initially. So please be careful, because you talk to a lot of people that like they can't even use their own benefits if they don't use them the first time, depending on where you're located. But yeah, you can definitely do it with that. You can reach out to me, shoot me an email. Um, you can either schedule a call with me, and then I'll be able to reach out to you and tell you where you can go to get that done.
All right, cool. Why was my husband denied SMCR but not given SMCL when they clearly states in the decision letter that he is dependent on me for all ADLs? He is already 100% permanent total and legally blind. Okay. I can't say why they denied the SMCR. I did have a video SMC R1 and R2. And I believe for the R1, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think you have to be at SMCL and O, or O and N, I believe. I can't remember what it was. I have to look it up. But I can't tell you why, Nancy. Look at that 2680, the form for aid and attendance. If your husband is 100% permanent total and blind, all benefits have to be service connected for any SMCs. They have to be service connected conditions. That could be if he's not service connected because he's blind. No, if you're saying that's why he needs the ADLs. Okay, I can only assume that. Okay. Brenda says, what's a DBQ? So it's called Disability Benefit Questionnaire. The VA has them on their website. You can download them and take them to your private doctor. So they're like a CMP exam, but your private doctor is doing the exam. Okay. But Brenda, there are certain stipulations. Make sure you educate yourself on those. I have plenty of videos about certain VA employees rejecting veterans' private DBQs they submit. Okay. Everything we need to know are in your videos, in the book. Yep. That's what I tell people. Why do you even call me? Why do you schedule a one-on-one with me? I love to speak to you, but it's in the videos. Try that first. The book, read that. Takes about 4 hours, 4.5 hours to read. If you still have questions, then sign up for the Q&A, but make sure you watch these videos first. Okay.
Dwayne, that's how we met.
I
just reached out to you, say, "Hey, Dwayne,
yeah, LinkedIn,
your videos, man. Like, hey, you want to talk?" I was kind of like, all right, I see him all the time because I was working on my stuff, and I'm like, oh man, like he seems cool. Let me just hit him up.
yeah. That's what, almost two years later, right?
I know.
Yeah. Nancy, he also had 3 brain surgeries. One thing I want to tell people is, a lot of veterans think, oh, I have all these issues and I'm going to get service connected for it. Again, where does it fall under the different ways of service connection? And when you get into those high level SMCs like R1s, R2s, yeah, they pay over $10,000, $11,000 a month, but there's other criteria. Okay. I still have my SMC book. But you got to go, Nancy, you got to go into M21-1, look at those requirements first. Okay. You got to keep that in mind. He has almost 30 diagnoses. It takes almost, again, Nancy, those 30 diagnoses, are they all service connected? Also, Nancy, here's another thing. See if you qualify for the caregiver program under VHA, Veterans Healthcare Administration. That's up to, I want to say it might be around $3 grand, 25 to $3 grand, 35. I don't know what the exact amount is, but I have a video on the caregiver program. Okay. Now that's on the VHA side. I don't keep up with the criteria, but you can go to VHA, do a search and find that criteria. I'm tuning in from Monticello, Arkansas. You know what's so crazy, Dave? We played the team in high school one time. Uh, I'm originally from Missouri. They drove up, man, they kicked our butt. The way my claim deferred to CMP for an IMO, what should I expect? To get an IMO. So for some reason, Chris, they sent it back because they needed a medical opinion. Okay.
What's the IMO?
Independent medical opinion. Medical
You guys
opinion
in your lingo.
nexus. Yeah. Dave, I lost you on video, but I
I
think
know
I
it's
can
the
still hear
camera,
you.
man. I don't know what I got to do. I
All
might if
right.
it happens too much, I'll like I don't know
Yeah,
why it's flying out on me.
there you go. I didn't use any, and I didn't do a full year. I'm thinking he's talking about maybe something to do with the home loan. I didn't use any, and I didn't do a full year.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. The VA verify. We already did that one. File proof. Okay, Grace Smith.
What's going on,
Grace.
Grace?
Yeah, you let us know, Grace. Are we snitching? Grace always asks me, are you going to be snitching? Are you going to be snitching? Yeah.
This one's for me.
Robert.
I'm about to complete a mortgage modification. I owe 600,000 on my home, valued at about 1.1. Am I able to use the VA certificate to refi my home? Great question. So if you are in a loan modification, it just depends because we've seen loan modifications where they take you to a 40-year, or they take the deferred amount of money that you have and tack it onto the back, and you can't. This isn't like a really easy thing to like. You can't subordinate a second 0% lien on refinancing a primary. Basically, what it means is that if you are in a loan modification on the first mortgage and they tack on all this interest and stuff that's going to be added to the mortgage, you still have to pay the whole thing back. So you can schedule a call with me and we can look at it, but I'll tell you if it makes sense or not. Because for some people, we've looked at it and I'm like, man, like it's just not worth it. Like I had one client, like we were going to add 200,000 of 0% interest back to the mortgage. I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. Like, no, that doesn't at all. So yeah, just be careful with that. Call me.
Grace Smith.
It's a party.
They know I love those fire emojis. I always do it toward the end of my videos, Dave. I'm like, if you're still watching, go ahead and put a bunch of fire emojis in the comment section. So I know how long people watch the video, you know. This is RJ. I tried to go back up and see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. RJ, listen, schedule a call with me. Let's talk, and then I'll be able to answer the questions.
Okay. So Robert said, boy is between Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Okay, I knew it was up there somewhere. Bought your book. I was looking at the name. I was like, wait a minute, what does all that mean?
I know.
Bought your book. Don't have the time to get through it. Work, family may sound how you pronounce that word? But Bogrosis?
I'm not sure.
But I simply want to pay a qualified proof to professional interview me, complete my VA claim docs, and submit policy. I don't do that. If you want representation, you got to go to VA's website and they'll have a link there, and they have VSOs, claims agents, attorneys that represent you. Sometimes attorneys will not represent you unless you do an appeal, because that's the only time they get paid. So if you do an initial claim, they're like, you know what? Nope, call us back when you get denied, and then we may decide to work with you. Hey, that is like that, but they are allowed to turn veterans down in that particular instance. Now, as it pertains to the book, I am very, very busy. I have multiple businesses, family, but I do take 30 minutes every morning to read. And that's how, when I read my book multiple times when I was writing it. But then when I got the paper copy in hand, I was like, man, let me read it. It took me 4 days, 30 minutes each day, and I just read it again. I think that was like the 30th time. Okay. Just take 10 to 15 minutes, when you go to sleep, 10 to 15 minutes. It may take you a week and a half, but a lot of good information. Okay. I'll clarify with my previous question. Anxiety is pending a review by a QRVS, because the examiner believes your anxiety is due to pain it just became an ASO. But still, why would they? What triggered that? The VA, they just don't pull it and say, "Oh, we're gonna do a high-level review on Curtis Collis's anxiety." Something had to happen. Okay. I recently had a CMP exam for total hip replacement. I found out that the CMP exam doctor gave me a negative review. I don't think that he reviewed my service records. So yeah, they could have denied this. You got to be service connected for the hip first. And then normally you get the increase to the hip replacement. Okay. So not the hip replacement itself, but actually service connection for whatever hip condition you said that happened in service. If you have a copy of those medical records, then you can do a high-level review and say, wait a minute, but you need to get a copy of the rationale from the doctor. Why did the doctor say no? Okay. And David, a lot of people, they don't know what a rationale is. And I have a video. Who denied your claim? Was it the rater or was it the CMP examiner? In that video, I'm giving you examples of when the rater denied you and when the CMP examiner denied you and what you need to do if the CMP examiner denied you. If you got a CMP exam, that meant that VA employees saw something in service to get you that CMP exam. So what was the rationale as to why the doctor said no for the negative opinion? Okay. Filed a claim for prostate cancer caused by my VA conceded terror exposure in South Korea. On the DMZ, I just got a denial stating that there is no evidence connecting exposure to cancer. Again, if you had a CMP exam, why did the doctor say, what was the doctor rationale? So when the doctor provides a negative or positive opinion, they, especially a negative opinion, they have to provide a rationale as to why and how they came up with the negative conclusion that said no. Okay. You need to know that before you even move forward. Okay. It's just, if not, you're spinning your wheels.
We got like 5 minutes left, so we can now power through these. We gotta roll.
Okay. All right. The claim is going to a rater. I'm hoping that he will see my injuries and give me service connection. So, well, not so much service connection, but to send it back for clarification. Okay. This you, Dave.
We already did that one.
We did. Man, wait a minute. Am I behind?
No, some of them are duplicates.
Okay. How do I get from 90 to DJ? I got a video stuck at 90%. How do you get to 100? Okay. That's how you.
I love that. I love the simple question. How do I go from 90 to 100?
Hey,
real quick.
He was direct. Oh, maybe she, but they were direct to the point. Okay. He wasn't messing around.
Yeah. How do you know how veteran disabled remodeling works? Sorry, my video keeps going out. Yeah, so you basically typically on a remodel, you can go up to 75% of $75,000 to do like some basic renovations. Typically, they don't let you do structural redos, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're going through that process. But sometimes it's just better just to get a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. It's going to depend on your situation and how much money you're looking for. Schedule a call. We can go through it.
Yep. Early says PTSD Q&A. Okay. Clarify.
I arrived late. What is the number that the CO reflects? Is that the 25% of what we can afford in a home? No, a certificate of eligibility does not reflect affordability. It reflects eligibility. When you look at your certificate of eligibility, it'll say that you have $36,000, which is a 25% of $144,000, which is what the original VA entitlement piece was. Since then, they've updated it with the Vietnam Veterans Blue Water Act and another bill that they passed, basically saying that you have no limit when you don't have an outstanding VA home loan at the time of closing. So you want to buy a $5 million home, you can do that with no money down. And it goes back to the old rules if you have multiple VA home loans. So hopefully that answers it. But I do have a whole video on how to read a certificate of eligibility on my channel.
Oh, wow. This is for you too, Dave?
Can you use the VRNE long-term through education BH stipend for income to buy a property? No. Hi, can I refi a regular mortgage into a VA loan? Yes. Closing costs are independent. If you have a service-connected disability, then it's going to make sense. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay a 3.3% VA funding fee because it'll still be considered a cash out refinance, even though it's not a cash out refinance. If you schedule a call with me, like literally in 5 minutes without doing anything, I could be like, give me some numbers and I could crunch it and be like, yeah, this makes sense. Or just like, look, it doesn't. People who reached out from online know that I'm just straightforward. Whatever you want, this is what it is. You want to work together, great. If you don't, hey, I get it. Like I can show you the light.
Yeah. All right. Watching your videos took control of my claim from a company, went from 60 to 100% PNT. Thanks for what you do. There it is, people. Tim, and I'm assuming that we never talked again, like we talked, we were talking about earlier. Just watch the videos, people. Watch the videos. I'm giving you the blueprint. I was suffering from a condition and did not go to sick call. No bueno. Is it no bueno? No bueno. However,
no bueno. I think
no bueno. My mud shot at the hospital shows a condition. That's not going to work. That is not going to work.
Are you getting a mug shot at the hospital? You getting arrested?
Yeah, no, they do. I've seen that where veterans, they'll go into like a domicile sometimes, like for a mental condition or something. They'll take a picture of them. Yeah, I've seen those. I've heard of that for burn pits. Okay. Good afternoon, Dwayne and Dave. Navy vet, currently 90%, 70% for PTSD, and 6% for skin. Existing claim for feet denied since 2015. Whoo! For CMP exams, last one was February 24th. Been at BVA since the vet rep left in 2021. Okay, good luck going forward. BVA claims, David, are going a lot faster. When I worked at the VA, you talking about 8-9 years. I'm 100%. I received a notice of reduction because of my bladder cancer in remission. What can I do? Okay. Cancers are not permanent unless they are terminal. Now, depending on the percentage they are proposing to reduce you to, if they're trying to reduce you from 100 to 0, then make sure you look at 2 of my videos, adverse action and RVSR hearing, because now they are going to have to rate off of voiding dysfunction. And what's the other one? Voiding dysfunction. Oh, what is the other one? Urinary frequency. Voiding dysfunction, I think you have to, if you're wearing absorbent materials, voiding dysfunction, if you're going to the bathroom at least 5 times a night, I want to believe that's 40 or 60%. I have to look at the rating schedule, okay? So just depends on if you're going from 100 to 0, the way you stop it. RVSR hearing, fill out a 4138, use the quick submit option, upload it, call 800-827-1000. You want an RVSR hearing? Do both, okay? And then get the evidence to show you wherever you want the 40 or 60%. Whew, man, that was a lot. I was just a bit sad seeing my claim ready to wrap, and now it's back to step 5. Thank you for your response, Mr. Kimball. I needed that. Not a problem. Felix, if I don't have a comment from you when I get up at 4:30 in the morning on my YouTube channel, I'm not going to answer your questions for 24 hours, okay? No, I'm just kidding. How's CA? California? Oh,
maybe. I don't know.
It was different. I was denied for depression. In my favorable findings, it says veteran had a complaint of depression. There's also a notation in my file of suicide. Why was I denied? I don't know. I was going to ask you, did you have a CMP exam? If so, did you get a copy of that medical opinion and rationale to see why the examiner said no?
That one we answered, you can't use it, but if you have VA disability, you can.
Okay. 50%. I've been off since December for service-connected disability. What do I do? You've been off work. If it's due to a surgery or you're in the hospital for a service-connected condition, look at my videos, paragraph 29 and paragraph 30. How can I win my claim under 38 USC 1151? I believe I do have a question. I have a video on that. I only granted 1151 one time because another VA doctor is going to have to say another VA doctor did something wrong during the surgery. Do you think they're really going to say no? My colleague and another, go to the M21-1 because there's a lot out there on 1151 claims. Okay. Faith says they will schedule an appointment. Okay, we're going to hold you to that. was given SMCL. Okay, Nancy. So you have to look at SMCR1 criteria. I want to say it's LNO or MNO or one of those two. You got to meet 2 lower SMCs. Okay. Hello, Dwayne. David. That's you, Dave.
If I have a VA loan already, can I get another one as a rental property? I like the little thinking emoji here. So the VA loan is designed to be your primary residence. Okay. So if you're buying a home that you're going to intend to occupy that property, there's no technical time limit on how long you have to live in that property, but you do have to live in that property. But you can turn a VA loan into an investment property. Right now on my channel, we've started a whole investor series of using the VA loan as an investment vehicle to build generational wealth. So make sure you guys check that out. We're going to have a lot of videos coming up, but I'm releasing them every week.
Okay. All right. So
then we're going
everyone,
to have to
yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
We're going to get it wrapped up.
Yeah. We're right at the hour, like 40 seconds over. And this was just a Q&A. So we got through a lot more questions than we do previously. So we had to do it again. I like these. Had a lot of good questions this evening. But again, everyone, make sure you go over to VA Housing Education. Subscribe to David's channel. He has a lot of YouTube shorts, a lot of videos. He brings some his team members on sometime. I watch mainly, Dave, when I watch your videos, I watch them on LinkedIn for some reason.
Oh, really?
They come up on LinkedIn. I see them there, So I'll be listening to them in the background or after I dropped my son off at school back when he was in school, and then I would look at them on YouTube. But a lot of good information. So again, like David said, if you're looking to refi, purchase a home, reach out to him, schedule a consultation. Again, people, look at my videos before you sign up for a Q&A. I would love to talk to you. I do all my Q&A sessions. They're with me. They're private, just you and I, doing by Zoom. Love to meet you. But before you sign up, make sure you watch the videos first. Read the book, and then you don't have to talk to me. Okay. But if you got questions,
but that's the nice part.
Yeah. Because these videos are free. And like I said earlier, just invest the time. That's it. If you go through the book and all this other stuff, you still got questions, I get it. I understand it. Okay. And I'm also going to be sharing some information where I'm at outside of YouTube, where you could probably jump in for free and get some questions answered as well. It's hard to get veterans in these free events, though. I don't know why. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. That's crazy. All right, everyone. Dave, you got anything you want to take us out on? I know. Hey, is the snowblower in the garage? That's what I want to know.
No, it's still there, but it's going into storage. Okay. It's still going into storage. But no, I would say thanks again for having me on. And one thing I'll again leave you with is that never deny yourself. This information we share with everybody is not just for you, but it's for the whole veteran community, because there's so much misinformation out there and people just stopping themselves from becoming homeowners or even just filing for their benefits.
Most definitely. All right. And we had over 100 people. So hopefully you all hit that like button to help us out. We definitely appreciate it. Until next time, take care and a good night.
Good night.